everyone, this is Kathryn and welcome to Back to Healthy. Today we're in my kitchen and I am showing you how I make fajitas. This is my first cooking video, so if you like it, if you hate it, please tell me what you think in the comments below because I'd really appreciate any type of feedback for this type of video. So let's get into this. The recipe itself can be found in my blog, which I will link in the description below, but I can tell you this is a really simple recipe. It involves cutting up some vegetables, cutting up some chicken, and then sauteing them in a wok until they're all cooked. Fajitas is that one recipe that, at least for me, has always been a healthy thing to eat because it's primarily vegetables. However, no, not all recipes are the same, and if you're using the fajita mix packet, which I will admit I used in the past until I looked into what was in it, and the first ingredient is sugar. So I would highly suggest that you don't use those. One, because it's sugar, and two, all of the spices you can buy yourself, and it would be cheaper. The second component that made it sort of unhealthy is every recipe that I found online or from friends and family always involved sugar, and you don't need to add sugar. However, I would say that it doesn't taste as sweet if it doesn't have a sweet component to it, and so my workaround involved cooking everything in orange juice instead of oil, which worked really well for me. Once you're done cutting all your vegetables, you want to put your stove on medium-high heat. You want to put the orange juice in your wok, and you want to start mincing your garlic. You want to let that simmer in the orange juice for about 2 to 5 minutes, but this will depend on your stove. It takes me 2 to 5 minutes. Just when you can start to smell it and it sort of becomes more translucent, that's when it's done. From there, you want to add your onions and you let them cook until they too are translucent, and you want to continue stirring because you don't want them to burn. You also don't really want them to caramelize too much either unless you want that extra sweetness. Once the garlic and onions are done cooking, I make a little hole in the center so that I can add my chicken so that it is on the heat. And I spread it out so that all the chicken is touching the bottom of the pan, and I let it sit there until one side is cooked, and then you flip them over and you wait till that side's done. Once both sides are cooked, you can start mixing that up. It looks yummy, and once that step is done, you start adding your seasoning. The original recipe that I had called for different spices than what I'm currently using in this video. However, I would highly suggest to everyone that cooking is an experiment, and so you should try and experiment with your spices. Personally, the recipe that I've shared with you is very delicious. It has an authentic Tex-Mex taste to it. However, crushed red peppers is very difficult for me to find in Europe, so I've changed the heat spice that I use to one that's readily available in Europe. However, I've also changed this recipe up where I cooked the fajitas with pineapple and pineapple juice, and I used paprika and cayenne pepper, and it had more of a tropical feel. It was just as good, but it didn't have that Tex-Mex taste to it. So really, you just have to experiment and figure out what you like, and you have to do you. Once your spices are added, you want to add your peppers, you want to turn down the heat, give everything a stir, and then it's a waiting game again. For transparency's sake, this actually took 40 minutes to cook and not 20, and so I think it's going to depend on your oven. The reason why I originally had 20 is because that's how it was on the gas stove, and I'm still not that competent on the electric. I'm still learning. Anyway, here's the recipe. I hope you guys like it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, share this with your friends and family. If you'd like more of this, tell me in the comments below, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.